So I was already preparing for a fight, which got postponed once, then it got cancelled. So I was on a huge disappointment because I hadn't fought since March, which was a relatively quick fight as well. So I really wanted to get out there and fight. Legacy is a great promotion. I've been out there so many times with Robert Drysdale for his fights, and I'd seen the setup there, and I'd seen how well the production had been put together. So when I got the call from my manager that offered the fight, he actually didn't offer me the fight. He said, "I've got you the fight. I've already confirmed that I know you'll take it." I've always been that kind of fighter that I'm never one of these guys. Oh, okay, I'll speak to my guys and get back to you. I'm a fighter, and if you offer me a fight, I'm going to take it. Whether it's a high level fight or low level fight, I love the challenge, and it's what I'm in the business for. And to get the opportunity to fight for Legacy is a great honor, and I'm looking forward to coming to Texas and showing the guys how to fight. Well, to be honest, I've had a long career, and I started off back in kickboxing. I had a huge amount of fights in Thai boxing and K1. I went to the UFC in MMA, and to be honest, I was very naive to the sport. I was very immature to the sport, which I really didn't have. I'd had some success in MMA, but only with my stand-up fight. And then within 6 weeks of doing it in America, I just trained jiu-jitsu for 6 weeks. I'm in the Ultimate Fighter house. There's no ground game whatsoever. Then I do relatively well, and I get offered a contract, and I fight for the UFC, and I win my first fight against Daryl Schoonover, yet again standing up. And then I get some good tests. I fight Travis Brown, who's doing remarkably well right now. And I was never naturally a heavyweight. I was always fighting at 220. I got a bad fight there, and it was a mixed review. He did a good thing. He took me down and was giving me heavy elbows, but they were legal strikes. So I felt a little bit unjust there. UFC paid me the winner's money, which was great for them to look after, and they allowed me to go to 205. I took another fight against Tom Blackledge. Tom Blackledge pulled out a week before the fight. Then I had disagreement with my coach at the time, who told me he couldn't come to my fight, which was like the day before about to leave, so I had to fire him. And then I come out and take a fight against Fabio Maldonado. Didn't know nothing about him, week's notice, just thought he's a boxer. Went out there and put a huge beat in him in the first round. Second round, he did a good job, slipped my punch and broke two of my ribs. I continued through the second round into the third. The third round, referee stopped the fight, and then, long story short, I'll get released from the UFC. Which, to be honest, at the time was a huge blow, but on hindsight now, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because I really feel it gave me the desire to go out there and search for, to really learn this sport. I got a taste of the big show, and I wanted more. So, and I couldn't, if I was the way I wasn't prepared. If I kept winning, I'm sure I would not have had the just or the intelligence to go out there and learn in more ground. I would have been still naive and say, I can beat everyone on my stand-up. And so therefore I seeked out ground. And it led me to Robert Drysdale Gym in Las Vegas, and one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners of the world, and in MMA also. So me and Robert were a great fit. He helped me on my ground, and I helped him standing up. And 2 years later, I've been here ever since. And I have, I think, 5 wins in a row by submission. I went out there on purpose to submit people in Australia. Then I come back and I took a fight against the Dutch guy. It's terrible, I forget his name, it was only in March. I just fought against him and had a good knockout in 30 seconds. He's a high-level guy, and he took Daniel Cormier 3 rounds in Strikeforce. So it was a good test, but now I'm so confident on the ground. It allows me now to fight the way I know I can fight standing up. When I was insecure on the ground, I was just standing on my toes, never landing good to heavy strikes, always running from the takedown. That insecure the ground game, whereas now I embrace it. And yeah, I know Paul Beuntello. We used to train together back in Albuquerque about 4 or 5 years ago when I was in Jackson's. Paul used to come in and out of Albuquerque every now and again. And he's a great guy. He's another veteran. But to be honest, I know where he's at. From the fights that I see him do, he's still the same Paul Beuntello I knew from 5 years ago. I'm not the same James McSweeney he knew 5 years ago, I can tell you that for a fact. And it's going to be an interesting fight, but there's no degree in this fight. I read some reviews, what people have said, and he's given me some good respect. But he says I'm slow. So let him ask Dion Starring how slow I am when I knocked him out in 30 seconds. One thing I've never been is slow. So we're going to see on the fight. Like I said, me and Paul are friends. I like the guy. He's a cool guy. He's actually very funny. Got some good stories. But this is all business. It's really funny because I had my first fight when I was 14 years of age, and I'm now 32. I've been professional since I was 18. I've had a hell of a lot of fights, and triple digits in fights. So I just got a deep desire for this sport. It's a passion, it's a love. and it turned into a job. It turned into a living. But a few low points in my career, I've had to really look deep in and soul search, and I've lost friends. I've lost. I've lost away from my family. I sacrificed my whole life for this career, and now I have my own family. I've got a wife and a beautiful 6-month daughter, and I have a new passion and a new drive, you know, and I want to succeed and do what I can do and make them proud. But also, I know I've got unfinished business with the big show, and I have a bad taste in my mouth with the way I left, not just the UFC, but just people's opinion in general. I fight for myself, but every fighter cares what the people think. You know, I read what people say about me, and I read the good reviews, I read the bad reviews. Everyone says discard the bad, but to be honest, I discard the good. I take in the bad, and they're the ones I can change. Every fight I go out there to prove not only to myself but to everybody that I've been working hard, I sacrificed, and I deserve the respect I'm gonna get, and it's coming.